Hi, everybody. Today we're going to be writing our third body paragraph and conclusion. But let's start off by logging into My Access and selecting our privacy prompt. You should also have with you your essay outline. If you need a few minutes to get that information, just press the pause button, and then continue. Okay, welcome back. So the goal today is to write our third paragraph and conclusion paragraphs on My Axis by the end of the session. Now, the essential question to always remember while we're doing this is, should privacy and free speech be traded for safety and convenience? And it's always good to have that in front of you when you're thinking about it when you're writing. Our language objective is to write an informational essay and include key facts, phrases, and quotes from sources as evidence in the essay. So again, looking for those phrases and ideas to put into our essay to support our thesis statement. So first of all, as you can see, our essay, we should be in the sort of end stage of writing our paragraph, our essay. We should have written our introductory paragraph, our body paragraph 1, body paragraph number 2, and today we'll be working on our body paragraph number 3 and conclusion. Again, once you're writing, you must remember to incorporate the ICE strategy. And this is when we're quoting text and using text to support our thesis statement. So for example, if you have a quotation from an article, you need to introduce it by saying, just a summary about what the quote's about, citing the quote, and then explaining what the quote means. And then probably what's the most important is to say why the quote is important and how it relates to my thesis statement. Again, always thinking back to that thesis statement. Also, while you're writing your quotes, make sure that you're citing your quotes. Here's a simple rule that you can remember. When you're citing text from an article, from a web article, right after you've said done your quotation, include the last name of the person's article, who wrote the article, and then the article name, and basically 3 words from the article. And I've given an example here: Shoop, comma, Apple just blocked. Okay, so that would be for the FBI and Apple article. Here's an example of the quotation. Police investigators have come to rely on phones as sources of evidence, especially in cases involving very serious crimes, such as terrorism, crime against children, and serial murderers. As you can see, the citation comes after the article, and the period is at the very end. Okay, I'm going to skip this part. This should have been where you've done your intro. Trying to write your quotes, your essay in a timed fashion so you can get practice with writing on demand and writing in a time block. So if you can write your introduction in 10 minutes, again, your introduction should include the hook, the background information, your thesis statement, reasons 1, 2, and 3 from each article. Each reason should be one from each article. Again, first paragraph. This is where we talked about the FBI and the iPhone issue, where law enforcement wanted to use the phones to get into the phones of these 2 individuals here who were terrorists, and they wanted to get into their phones, and iPhone and Apple said no because they wanted to make sure that people's phones remained unable to be hacked so that they could maintain privacy. For the second paragraph, this is where we talked about the Weather Channel app and how the Weather Channel app was using consumers' location information without letting consumers know just how much information they were using and selling to other third parties. So it was a real situation of being monitored. And the Weather Channel app not being upfront with consumers about how they were using their information. Okay, so we're on our third paragraph, and this paragraph included a video by this guy Matthew Green, who's an encryption an encryption expert. You can find this video on YouTube if you look up why the NSA is breaking our encryption and why we should care. If you look this up on YouTube, it should pop up. It's a 7-minute video, and you should watch it. Here are some main points from the video: that encryption is used by everyone. It protects your online information, and that the NSA, or the National Security Agency, wants to weaken encryption. And this would make mass surveillance possible. He's really against this because he says that we really need to make sure encryption remains really strong. And when he says encryption, that means the code that companies use to code or make their information secret when it's being passed from one place to another. So whether you're sending a text or a phone message or something on the web, your information is scrambled or encrypted when it's going from one place to another, and once it reaches its destination, it's unscrambled, and then people can read it. But it's really important to have that encryption really solid. So why don't you go ahead and take 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so, write your paragraph here for your essay. And once you're done, you can unpause this, and we'll jump back to the conclusion. Okay, welcome back. This is the final version of the final paragraph of your essay. This is where the conclusion happens. And this is really a place to kind of go back, think about what you've said in your paragraphs before, and restate everything in a slightly different way. This is where you're going to restate your thesis statement. How do you feel about privacy? Is it something that we should protect? And make sure that we protect it so we can keep our freedom of speech and privacy, even if it means sacrificing some of our security and convenience. Restate the 3 reasons and take a look at the 3 different articles, thinking of what each of those articles was saying and kind of rephrasing it in a different way. And then coming up with the last statement at the end to kind of round it all together. And one thought might be to talk a little bit about 1984 and what could happen if we don't protect our privacy. We could end up in a state where everyone's watched by Big Brother, and how bad that would be. You could also talk about how our First Amendment rights, what are they, and how would they be damaged if we allowed for surveillance to happen. Okay. Once you've done that, were you able to complete your paragraphs in the time? Did you complete all your writing for paragraphs? If so, what helped? If so, great. If not, what kind of held you up? Okay. Here ends this presentation. You can go ahead and pause it, and then go back to your writing if you need to take more time to finish off your writing.